SVG-TV News for Friday, January 19th, 2018. I am Jennifer Richardson with the details. Non-commissioned officers of the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force received words of encouragement from Police Commissioner Acting Colin John at the close today of a workshop held to equip future leaders in the organization. The training workshop was held as part of the force's mandate to provide capacity building opportunities to all officers. Nikita Tony tells us more in this report.
Deemed as the backbone of any armed services, as they are the primary and most visible leaders, some 25 non-commissioned officer NCOs within the Royal St. Vincent and the Grenadines Police Force were from Monday, January 15th until today, Friday, January 19th, engaged in an NCO development training course. At today's closing ceremony, the officers ranking from corporals to station sergeants were presented with certificates of participation and were also commended for their hard work throughout the training course as well in their overall duties. Seen as an avenue for equipping NCOs with the requisite skills for them to better deal with the public, course coordinator ASP Trevor Bailey gave an overview of the week's proceedings.
Station sergeants, 3 sergeants, and 20 corporals. Subject areas of station management: statement taking, electronic interview, handling, packaging, and presenting of exhibit to the court, sexual assault and mental defect, points to prove sexual offences, force responders to the crime scene, some of the topics that were covered. It was a week that is well spent, well deserved, and the training was of opportune time.
Commending the high level of enthusiasm displayed by the participants throughout the course, ASP Bailey further expressed his hopes to see a better level of work being carried out, as well as greater emphasis being placed on the services being rendered by the officers.
It is expected, sir, that more training of this nature will take place during the year. Expected that the participants, now that you have been retooled, that you will go back to your respective stations, sections, and branches and share the knowledge, share the experience, so that the workload on yourself will be eased and that we'll have more persons who are better equipped to provide the service that we are providing for the nation of St. Vincent and the Grenadines.
The keynote speaker at today's event was the recently appointed Acting Commissioner of Police, Colin John, who encouraged the participants to go out and not only use the skills they have acquired, but to share their knowledge as they work together to enhance the services being provided by the SVG Police Force.
You are given tools to do the job. It is of no use to you if you do not share it. It is of no use, it can really hamper the progress of the organization if a junior constable learns how to deal with sexual offenses and the person who has to supervise them has no knowledge about it. So hence the reason for having this course.
Seen as a critical part of the organization's vision, the SVG Police Force will seek to continue to support and provide capacity building opportunities to all members of the force as a means of ensuring the highest level of national security. Nikita Tony reporting for SVG-TV News.
Meanwhile, Police Commissioner Acting Colin John told those in attendance at today's graduation ceremony that once an individual adopts the right attitude and equips him or herself with the relevant skills, he or she can be a future leader in the SVG Police Force. Outlining that one should not limit oneself, Commissioner John, while commending the work done as part of the course, said once best practices are adopted, one can improve his or her ability as an officer.
Training course is very relevant and very appropriate, equipping future leaders. And I want to say from the offset that every one of you there can be in this position as commissioner sometime in the future. Once you adopt the right attitude and you go through the right training and everything like that, you can be in this position. It is not beyond any one of you. So just keep that in your mind from the offset.
Highlighting the issue of station management, The police commissioner acting urged the future leaders to ensure that the right practices are carried out under their supervision.
It encompasses cleanliness of the station, punctuality, attendance at work, proper statement taking, proper supervision of the juniors. As I also police not supposed to be late. And that is something as NCOs you have to make sure that you supervise at all time. Proper statement taking. You as NCOs as well, you're in a leadership role, you have to make sure that the contents or the ingredients that consist an offense, all of the ingredients are present in the statement. Make sure that when a person comes to the station to make a report of a sexual nature, that the statement is taken as privately as possible.
John also offered advice on the effective and efficient supervision of junior officers.
As NCOs, make sure that persons are supervised. Make sure that when they go out on duty, when they return with their weapon, make sure that the weapons are cleared so that there will be no mishap or anything of that nature. Make sure that the books are written up properly. Make sure if there's a report of theft, that is not only entered in the diary, but it is entered in the number 27. Hope that what I've said today would resonate with the members here, not only the persons who are graduating, but everyone here. It's a learning process for all of us, and I hope that we would go and spread the message.
Prime Minister Dr. Rav Gonsalves is assuring Vincentians that his ruling Unity Labour Party, the ULP administration, is focused on the business of the country. At a media conference on Monday, PM Gonsalves said there is a lot in store for the country, noting that he recently held a meeting with the Christian Council as it relates to the prospect of medicinal marijuana, which will create employment for a number of Vincentians. He also hints of more air access in and out of the country.
There would be additional airlift for 2018 from AIA. I wouldn't go beyond that. And that the conversation with interest groups concerning medicinal marijuana has started. I chaired a conversation, a preliminary conversation with the leaders of the Christian Council last week. And the president, the chairman of the committee, the cabinet committee was there too, Saboto Caesar, another member of the committee, and Camilo was there. So too was the Chief Executive Officer of Invest SVG, because it's an investment issue. And the draftsperson, Petrona Seeley Brown, the draftsperson for the law.
The former finance minister gave the assurance that the estimates will be ready for the January 29th presentation date, noting that Finance Minister Camilo Gonsalves and other government officers have been working hard to finalize the document.
And just to say that we're on target. These are the draft estimates. Minister of Finance had them sent to me yesterday. Sorry, on Friday. I had a discussion Friday afternoon with the draft recurrent estimates, and these are the draft capital estimates. So he's hard at work finalizing with the staff. I gave my input on a number of things because the discussions were ongoing. And when I'm finished here sometime this afternoon, I will have a conversation too with other persons in the Ministry of Finance. So the work goes on.
President of the opposition New Democratic Party and leader Dr. Godwin Friday is attending the annual general meeting of the Caribbean Democrats Union, the CDU, being held in Miami, Florida from today, January 19th to the 21st. The CDU is a network of political parties in the region with members from Belize, Jamaica, Turks and Caicos, St. Kitts and Nevis, Anguilla, Dominica, St. Lucia, Grenada, and St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Discussions at the meeting will be centered around four main themes: policy, accountability, representation, and participation, with a specific focus on climate resiliency and increasing participation of women and youths in political spaces. The National Committee for the Establishment of a Modern Medicinal Cannabis Industry here in SVG will host the first round of discussions for potential local investors on Monday. The meeting is scheduled for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs conference room at 4:30 p.m. In a news release issued earlier this week, Minister of Agriculture Sabota Caesar said the government is officially moving ahead with plans for the establishment of a medicinal marijuana industry in St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Minister Caesar said during these series of consultations, which will take place over the next few weeks, both nationals and experts in the diaspora will have the opportunity to have their say on the matter as they seek to establish a medicinal marijuana industry in the country. Meanwhile, interested local investors who wish to express their plans for participation in the medicinal cannabis industry are being asked to submit their business proposals to or seek information from Invest SVG, which is located on the second floor of the administrative building on Bay Street, Kingston. Vincentians are being encouraged to spend more time to appreciate the importance of the breadfruit, as well as to consume more of the produce. This as the nation celebrates 225 years since the introduction of the breadfruit to this country. This encouragement comes from Chief Agriculture Officer Ashley Kane as he spoke with the Communications Unit of the Ministry of Agriculture on the historical significance of the milestone. Kane said the breadfruit plant has a tremendous impact on many communities throughout the nation and encouraged Vincentians to use science, folklore, and business sense to preserve the breadfruit.
It is my hope that young people, the older ones, who listen to my speaking on this issue would take the time to walk back in time and look at breadfruit in St. Vincent and the Grenadines, the what, the where, for the how. And what can we do given international airport? How can we now leverage that airlifting capability to create wealth and to sustain wealth in St. Vincent and the Grenadines by putting fruit in Vincentian communities or non-Vincentian communities overseas, and we bring the scientific bearing to it, we bring the folklore, and we mix all those things into one package to celebrate the fact that in St. Vincent and the Grenadines we have a range of breadfruit trees that we should never allow to disappear from our national scene.
Kane also called on stakeholders to work together to change the negative perception of what he termed the breadfruit mentality.
To take young fellas like you and so on, and my friend Gloucester here, that we proudly say that we have breadfruit mentality, because it is such an excellent thing with which we have been blessed that we should never let breadfruit fall, go out of our consciousness, nor be treated in this old thing, they're only breadfruit. It means at the school level, we need to engage. It means that through recipes, etc., we engage housewives and farmers. Even at an industrial level, what can we do with breadfruit in St. Vincent and the Grenadines to ensure that we have a legacy maintained for the next 1,000 years and beyond.
Agriculture officer responsible for breadfruit production here, Michael Gloucester, said the ministry has taken a multifaceted approach towards the sustainability of breadfruit and encouraged Vincentians to consume more breadfruit.
Fruit trees. So a focus really would look at how we manage, how we establish, look at the planting and so on, and how we take care of the tree. The fifth thing that we want to look at now is the consumption and utilization. And we want to promote more breadfruit consumption, encourage people to consume more breadfruit because of its benefit and to utilize breadfruit. And we want to encompass the breadfruit as part of our whole livelihood, our cultural livelihood, our heritage. I think too that the breadfruit we should have, by now we should have had a breadfruit brand. We really should have capitalized more on the breadfruit, and we need to expand more about the significance of the breadfruit in St. Vincent.
Meanwhile, the agriculture officer said work is continuing to be done to overcome challenges faced in the production and sustainability of breadfruit in SVG. Gloucester said whilst there is no record of diseases to the breadfruit plant in the country, the ministry continues to be vigilant. The agricultural officer added that they are concerned about protecting the genetic material of the local variety of breadfruit.
In St. Vincent and the Grenadines, there isn't a known breadfruit disease that I know of. I know in places like Trinidad and Grenada, there's a tree decline in which each tree dies from the top, but we don't have it here. The reasons, I'm not sure if it's just differences in environmental condition or soil type, but we don't have any major disease here. Our thing is to really prevent diseases from coming to St. Vincent. We have to be very careful. One of the things we have to be very mindful of is to really protect our genetic material. Because I said it is so diverse, you may have instances where people want to come here and really extract our genetic material, and we have to be very mindful and put protocols in place to really protect that.
Gloucester, however, noted that so far there has been no solution to issues surrounding crop and plant loss due to the size of the trees.
The tree, and there is no known dwarf anywhere. There's no dwarf breadfruit, and a challenge is really to get the tree short, because you lose a lot. You could lose as high as 50% of the fruit during harvest because of the height. It predisposes the tree to damage by wind. We did a survey, and there was significant amount of breadfruit trees were uprooted during Thomas, and this is because of the root system that the breadfruit has. It has an adventitious root system, and the size of the tree, it is very prone to that. And that is the challenge, the real challenge for us really to do, is to really get a short or dwarf breadfruit, and we have not been able to do that nowhere yet in the Caribbean and other parts of the region.